Hello, football fans, and welcome back to another James Talks About NFL Football. And recently, the battle-tested Minnesota Vikings have just faced another test that they must overcome in the 2016 season. Just to recap a little bit, uh, the first battle, the first mini battle that they had to overcome was the Teddy Bridgewater injury on August 30th. And then, so before the start of the season, their franchise quarterback is already hurt. You have to keep that in mind. So their franchise quarterback is hurt, and on September 18th, their star franchise running back, Adrian Peterson, got hurt as well. But just a few weeks ago, hold on, let me look this up. I hate it whenever I have to look stuff up mid-video. I should do the research before the video, not during the video. It annoys me. As well as you guys probably. Okay, so, just a few weeks ago, they were 5-0, which they were on top of the NFC North standings, and they still are, by the way. But yeah, so before their bye week, on October 9th, the fifth week of the season, they had their fifth victory, and they had a bye on October 16th, and they were looking good going into the bye. They were 5-0. So they they had not really lost at all. I'm sorry my face was red. Forgot to close stuff out. So going into their bye, they were 5-0. But then this past October 21st and October 31st, this past Monday night, they lost two consecutive games to the Philadelphia Eagles and the Chicago Bears, respectively, only getting 10 points each in each game, whilst giving up an average of 20.5 points both those games, with 21 points and 20 points respectively in both those games. Which, just this Wednesday morning, the offensive coordinator for the Vikings, Norv Turner, stepped down. He stepped down. So in mid-August, you still had a healthy Teddy Bridgewater, a healthy Adrian Peterson, and Norv Turner was still calling the shots. But now it's McKinnon, the back. I can't remember his first name. I am sorry, Vikings fans. And I have Sam Bradford and now Pat Shurmur in their respective positions. Pat Shurmur being the offensive coordinator, Sam Bradford being the quarterback, and McKinnon and Matt Asiata being the running backs now. I read that the plan was to have Turner be in the new stadium for a season, which they opened up a new stadium after being in the domed one for so long. The roof collapsed like 5 to 7 years ago, and thus they were like, okay, let's just build a new stadium. So they moved out of their stadium in 2013 and then were playing outdoors at the University of Minnesota past 2 years, 2014 and 2015. And now they moved into their new stadium this year. So I don't think the Vikings were going to have Norv Turner as their offensive coordinator moving forward, which I didn't think Norv Turner was going to be the offensive coordinator next year for the Vikings. I thought that with the Vikings' great success without Teddy Bridgewater, and for the most part without Adrian Peterson, that teams would look at Norv Turner and go, oh, that guy looks good to be an NFL head coach again. But the problem is that yes, I know Norv Turner at least used to be, if not is still a great offensive mastermind, but I bet there are two things keeping him from becoming a head coach in the NFL again if he doesn't. Is the fact that he is currently 64 years old and that his career record is 114 and 122. He has 114 wins and 122 losses as a head coach. His postseason record is 4-4, I do believe. Hold on, let me think about this for a second. Let's see. He had the 1-1 with the Redskins in 1999, and then with the Raiders, he didn't do anything. He didn't make it to the postseason. And then with the Chargers, he went 2-1 in the postseason in 2007. So you've got a 3-2 record. And then in 2008, he went 1-1, winning a game and then losing a game. So that's 4-3. And then he lost in the first round in the 2009 playoffs. So yeah, that's 4-4. Yeah. Yeah, I remembered that correctly. I'm so glad I remembered that correctly. What is there noise outside the window there? Anyway, I'm getting a little bit sidetracked. But yeah, apparently so many people are saying that Turner left at the right time and all this stuff. And given that the Vikings moved into a new stadium just this year, tells me that they didn't plan to keep him after this year anyway. But yeah, this being promoted to offensive coordinator for Pat Shurmur uh, could very well lead to him getting interest from NFL teams to be a head coach again. I mean, Pat Shurmur drew interest from the Browns, and he was their head coach in 2010, in 2011, and 2012. Which, fun fact about Norv Turner, he has been either an NFL head coach or an offensive coordinator every year since 1991. Unlike some guys, he has not had a year off from coaching in a long time. I know he's been an NFL assistant coach or head coach since 1985. So he has spent 31 years, 32 seasons as an NFL coach in some capacity, in some sort of capacity, straight. That's not taking a year off. That's not going to the college level. I mean, he was the Rams receiver coach from 85 through 90. Then he became the Cowboys offensive coordinator. Then he became the Redskins head coach. Then he became the Chargers offensive coordinator for a year. Then he became the Dolphins offensive coordinator. Then he became the Raiders head coach. Then he became the San Francisco 49ers offensive coordinator for a year. Then he became the Chargers head coach. Then he was the Cleveland Browns offensive coordinator for a year. And then the job that he finished on Wednesday was the Vikings offensive coordinator job. So, interestingly enough, we have 4 offensive coordinators. Hold on. Is it 3 or 4? I can't remember. Yes, 4. Since the start of the season, we have had 4 offensive coordinators replaced from their original team. Another fun fact, we have had 4 offensive coordinators replaced in the 2016 season. They've either been fired or they've stepped down in the case of Norv Turner. I mean, the other 3 guys were fired. We had the Bills fired Greg Roman. The Ravens fired Mark Trestman, which I didn't make a video on that. And I also didn't make a video on the Jaguars firing their offensive coordinator, Greg Olson. And Norv Turner stepped down. And I did kind of make a video on the Bills firing Greg Roman. It was me asking if the Buffalo Bills have hit a wall. But yeah, guys, I do believe that will do it for this James Talks About NFL Football. And I know I didn't totally stick to the subject of the Vikings, but this was kind of a Norv Turner video. But yeah, the Vikings are now tested even more. I mean, that defense better turn into like the 2000 Ravens, the 2000 Baltimore Ravens defense, or the 1985 Chicago Bears defense at this point. Because that offense is just battle tested to the point where I don't think they can take anymore. But yeah, guys, that's all I got today. And until Monday, I will see you all later. Goodbye, guys. Thank you all for watching, and go Panthers.